Welcome to Rising Sky, and you are watching Disney Channel Bandit. Okay. Welcome back to my channel. And if you guys have been here this long, thank you. I'm happy that you guys are sticking around because it definitely gets better with every episode and video. So y'all, today we're doing a special story time of me working in food for the first
and the last time.
but y'all gonna see why. Okay, so it really all started with me quitting my previous job, which was Cracker Barrel, and I hadn't had a job for 3 months. When I tell you it was the ghetto.
The ghetto!
It was ghetto, and I was like, I cannot do this. Not having a constant steady income, that's just not gonna work. And I need to find something that I can do and someone who's gonna hire me. So I applied to Subway. I really applied to Dunkin' Donuts. That's the funny thing. I applied to Dunkin' Donuts. I did the interview, right? And I got the job. And they placed me at Subway because it was a store with restaurants in it. And instead of placing me at Dunkin' Donuts, which is what I applied to, they placed me at Subway. And I never saw myself working at Subway, but I was like, I mean, it's a job. It's probably not that hard. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. And I didn't really have a choice anyway, but yeah. And when I got the job, it was a little easy because nobody contacted me for a week. And I was like, okay, let me go back to the store to see what's happening, see what's up. Maybe it got lost in the mail. I don't know. Nobody contacted me, so I was like, hello, like, do I have the job? And she was like, yeah, you start work tomorrow. And I was like, period? Okay, that works. Anyway, so maybe that should have been a red flag, me getting that job that easy. Like, I literally just walked in and she was like, yeah, you got it. But she never contacted me. So maybe that should have been a red flag. But you know what? I'll take it. That's money. So I started the next day. And the very first time that I worked was on a weekend. Thankfully, it was a short shift that they called training, although it wasn't. But weekends make a lot of money. So I was like, you know what? That ain't no problem. The very first day that I started working, I remember it was an old manager that ended up getting fired later. So he was the manager for the day, right? And you have to put your fingerprint in to clock in. And I hadn't had a fingerprint because the system was broken on my first day, so I had to be clocked in manually. But he wasn't really trustworthy and he was weird. And the very first day that I was supposed to work, it was supposed to be a 4-hour shift. Tell me why it turned into an 11-hour shift on my very first day of working in food. And I was like, are y'all understaffed, or did I just come on the wrong day? And the manager kept apologizing to me, and I was like, I'm so confused because my coworker left sick. Like, she started throwing up in the bathroom, and she was supposed to help train me, and she literally left. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm the only one, and I'm closing for the first time. I was like, how am I closing on my very first shift that was supposed to be 4 hours? So I did all of that by myself. I started learning faster because I had to. When there was a busy line, it was a Saturday. I started on a Saturday, so it was very busy. And you can't be slow on a Saturday. And they had to tell people that I was in training, but I wasn't bad. Like, I was learning quickly. So I was like just helping memorize orders. And I was like, okay, I got this. This isn't too bad. But it got a little more complicated when I had to do like sandwiches with a whole bunch of stuff, or they would ask for a special because I hadn't memorized the specials yet. I was just learning everything. I was just learning the meats and amounts to put. But when they asked for specials, I was like, what is this even? What does this mean? So the manager would help me out, and like people from other stores, they would be like, okay, we can help you. We've worked here. We got it. So on the first day, I definitely did get help from some of the people from the other stores, but I was mostly by myself working and closing that day. So it was a little hectic, but I was like, I got it because I'm a pro. I'm a pro at anything I do. And I started, and it was great, and everybody loved it because I kept the customers happy. And I was like, mainly my goal was just to smile, look cute, make sure I'm engaging with the customers. If they have to wait a while, talk to them, you know? Okay, so as I kept working, excuse me. As I kept working, it was interesting because I was just getting to know the coworkers. Like I would meet some on certain shifts and others during different days. Some people didn't work weekends, so I was just getting to know the crew and stuff, and they were pretty nice. But later on they told me they didn't even like me, and I was like, I was never not nice to them. I was very sweet, but I didn't like being bossed around often because I know how to do my job. Like, yes, I was learning, but you don't have to tell me what to do all the time. Tell me what to do and I got it, then I'll do it. But yeah, so my experience, it was pretty nice. After they started to really like me, then we all had a blast, and it being on weekend shifts were actually kind of fun, but they were tiring. And sometimes the good thing about working on base is that the customers are nice, but sometimes those customers be waiting for food and they get mad at you. They'd be like, oh, I didn't order this. Or this one lady said to me, she was like, oh, are you new? After I had been working there for over 6 months, she was like, oh, are you new? Because usually people don't go this slow. And I was like, girl, who are you even talking to right now? But of course, the customer's always right. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let that go. And literally that whole day, I was on my feet working. So I don't understand. She's talking about something, you guys never go this slow. Like, I'm sorry, I'm tired and I'm not in a good mood. But I kept a smile on my face because I was like, customer's always right. And I kind of wanted a tip, but which we didn't get much of. But that's okay. So 6 months in, I started working in the summer. So I started in December, and then when I started working in the summer, I usually worked weekends until I got to June. And then when I finished school, I started working during the weekdays, 4 days a week. I never worked full time because I refused. First of all, that's not happening. Second, I wanted to have a lit summer. So I was like, I know I don't want to remember in August that all I did was work. So I was like, schedule me for 4 days or you won't have me at all. That's it. But working weekends, it took most of my school weekends, but I didn't really mind because I didn't have much to do. Only sometimes I did, and I would ask to take off, but it would depend. It would really depend on if there was people that weekend and if I could take off. But sometimes I couldn't, sometimes I could. And with the summer, I would work, I would usually work the end shifts. I didn't really get to work in the morning or just during the day and leave at like 2 or 4. So if I was going in, I wasn't coming back till we closed, which was kind of annoying, but it's money. So closing was, I don't do physical labor. I'm not big on that. Like carrying all those big tubs in the mop bucket, and no. Physical labor is not my thing, and I don't want to be picking up all of this other stuff. I just make the sandwiches, like, no. I wish someone cleaned it, but I had to. So it was a small restaurant, so it wasn't that much I had to do. But like I said, I'm not big on physical labor. And no, I'm not bougie.
Why you always lying? Oh my God.
Okay, maybe I am a little bit. Because they said you have to carry 25 pounds or less in the application. So don't believe that when you see that in the application. If you're working in food, they'll make you carry 50 pounds if that's what they need to do. And I was like, I literally cannot carry this. Like, I have to get a car. I can't lift this by myself. I'm not weak, but there's some things I'm like, oh no, that's just not getting off the floor. So you either kick it, drag it, you gotta figure out a way, but you still gotta lift it. And I'm like, I met a lot of cool people there, and I would actually hang out with my coworkers, not my manager, but I would hang out with my coworkers outside of work, and it was cool. Like, we hung out once, but it was like we had fun, and they're really cool outside of work. But then when we were in work, we were still lit, but it would just depend on the day. Like, you could tell when someone was having a bad day. They just be tired, or they have an attitude, and that it do be like that. Because when you have a 9-hour shift and you have to be there from morning to night and you don't feel good, that is the worst. But yeah, it was cool hanging out with them, had a great time with them, and I saw some new people come in and they left before me, which was actually really funny. And I started to find out that new people were getting paid more than me. And I was like, oh, absolutely not. So me and my coworker, we were like, we barely get paid, and these people are starting with more than us. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I don't know about you, but I'm not gonna be here that long if I'm not getting what I'm worth. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, but I have a plan. Like, I want to leave when I have another job set up. And that was my plan. I was like, when I get set up and I have a better job opportunity, I'm leaving, because I refused. Last time when I was at Cracker Barrel, I was like, yeah, I just want to go, because they didn't give me enough hours. But this job, I was like, no, I want that money. So I was like, until I find another job and I start, I won't be quitting. But when I find another job, I definitely will be gone. So she was like, yeah, I'm looking for a job too, yada yada. But me, a few months later, I was like, look, this is getting real old, and all I do is work late shifts. Honestly, on base, they close early. Not like early, but they close at 7:30. So I got out around 8:15, 8:30, but I didn't want to do that all the time. So I was okay with some evening shifts, but I like morning shifts too, get it out of the way early. But it's whatever now, because it's over. So when I did, I was given a better job opportunity later, and I was like, that's a bag. And I was ready to go, because I was like, look, this is getting old, like me having to do all this stuff. And then there was like, you started to see the toxic traits of the workplace. And I was like, yeah, this is not what I'm really about. And then a new girl came, and I had to help train her, but I wasn't getting paid more. I was just helping her do her work and doing my own while I was on my own shift. And then she would leave, and I would have to have the rest of the shift to myself. So I was like, look, fine, you guys don't want to pay me more. And I even talked to the manager. I was like, I want to get paid more. And she was like, oh, okay, we'll pay you more. I think she said there was an increase in my pay, but I didn't see it ever. I was like, girl, what are you even talking about? But I was like, you know what, let me find a job. I'm not even gonna wait for them, because I didn't want to keep saying, oh, I want to get paid more, because obviously if you don't feel like I'm worth that, then I'm just gonna have to find something better. So I just kept going, kept finding stuff, and then I was given a job opportunity to babysit, and it was flexible hours. I could basically have my own schedule without having to work a shift. Like, I would just work with the kid. So I could be at my house, or I could work and do my own things. So that was the really good thing about it, and I was getting paid way more. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just have to see what that's like and test the waters. So I told my coworker, I was like, yeah, I found another job, but this is not really working. Well, my two coworkers, and they were like, yeah, do it. They were like, if it's good money, do it, but you're gonna miss it here, and you're probably gonna come back. And I was like, we'll see. So when I left, my manager was like, oh, you'll be back. And I was like, never happening. Never ever happening. Because now that you said that, now I'm like, now I don't even want to go back. Now what's the point? So I got the job, and I loved it. I loved babysitting. I love babysitting because it's, like I said, it's very flexible, and I could do what I want and I would still get paid for it. Of course, while taking care of the kid, but at least I could have my own schedule and do what I needed to do, like schoolwork, what was important and stuff like that. But when you work in an actual job, you have to do shifts, and you can't go on your phone. You can't do other things other than work. And you're on your feet all day, and you doing janitorial work, you doing the food work, and you're being a cashier. I did 3 jobs in one and did not get paid enough for it. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna see y'all when I see y'all, but I gotta go. So I told my coworker that, and I left. And I went back months later, not to work, of course. I went to go see them. So I was like, okay, let me pay a visit. Like, they're probably cool with me, because I didn't leave and like, oh, I'm done, I quit. I put in my 2 weeks, and I was like, look, it's been good, the money's been good, but it's time for me to move on. I gotta go my own way. But yes, I went back, and my coworker was still there, and I was like, couldn't be me though. And she was like, yeah, I just can't find a job and stuff. And she was like, I'm still looking. I was like, still looking? I was like, girl, if you don't just find a job or walk into a store and ask for something, like, I know it could be a little difficult with finding jobs, because like I said, it took me 3 months to find one, but you just gotta do it. Like, and she worked way more than me. Like, I got a flexible job, but she works more than me, so I'm like, it shouldn't be this hard for you to find a job. Like, you should be able to get a good opportunity. But hopefully now she found a better job, because she only got paid 50 cents more for the work that she was doing. And since I left, they're very understaffed. So when I left, she was doing extra work and still helping the new girl, and I was not with that. I was like, you know what, you do you. If you think you're gonna get money later, I definitely support her. I really hope she gets paid more, but it is what it is, and I'm happy I left. So that was my first time working, because Cracker Barrel, I worked as a cashier. I never worked in the kitchen or even with food. So they differentiate the like areas. And when I left there, then I finally started working at Subway now. And like I said, Subway was my last time working in food. Would I work in food again? I mean, honestly, it wasn't terrible. Like, it wasn't that bad. I just didn't get paid enough for what I did, and they were understaffed, so you were always doing more work than was positioned for you, and then you were always helping other people in the process. People were cool, so it wasn't as like, it was a little more worth it, but I still wasn't getting paid what I should have been. And working in food, I mean, it's a job and that's money. I wouldn't work in like crazy circumstances, obviously. Like, I probably wouldn't work at McDonald's, because I know they do a lot of work, and they carry like 50-pound fry bags from the freezer, and I'm not trying to do all that. I'm trying to do something that works for me, but also helps me grow. I don't mind working for stuff, like working for food companies, of course, because that'll create growth and I'll learn more. Of course, I'll have tips as I go along the way, but nah, for now, I don't think I'm going back to Subway. So I'd have to find another food job like Panera. I wouldn't mind Panera. They work hard, but it's very clean, cute, and I like it. It's a very good environment, so that would seem worth it, I think. Oh, so why did I just touch my face like I was wearing glasses? Because I wear glasses, guys, but you guys don't see that part because these lashes won't let me. These lashes won't let me put on my glasses, and yeah, you guys will see that when I'm more natural during like a routine or something, but definitely not now. So thank you guys for watching. Go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. Definitely, if you have any questions, I want to hear them. Any comments. If you have worked at Subway, let me know how it is. And maybe it was just the one I worked at. Obviously, it wasn't bad, but it was like, I wouldn't go back. So tell me how it is working in food. And if you guys want to talk, go ahead, I'm here. And I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching and staying with me. Bye.